Now that we've made it through another big project, it's time for another 3-yard quilt. So we're heading on to Quilts on the Double with 3-yard quilts. And for this one, I'm going to be doing this broad strokes pattern. And I have a reason why I'm going to be doing this one specifically, and that is because my main fabric is less than a yard. So I've got like 32 inches of this, and fabric A, I did the math, and it only requires 31.5 inches or 32.5 inches. So I just barely have enough, but I needed a good pattern for this. So I've had these purple flowers for, I don't know how long. Obviously, if you've seen my stash, you know I've got stuff for days and years and months and whatever, even decades, I think. But these cute little purple flowers were so fun, and they've been hanging out with no one to love. And now it's time to give them some love during Quiltmas and Year of the 3-Yard Quilts. So this is my fabric A, which is going to be these main ones here. And then for my fabric B, I'm doing some grunge. So if I looked at my pattern right, that's going to be where the dark is here. So if that's fabric 2 or fabric 3, whatever this dark one is, that's going to be the grunge. I am giving my grunge up to this quilt. I've had this for who knows how long also. I love grunge. And then for my other one, we've got more of these purple polka dots. So these are going to go so fun all together. Let me show you them all together. I think this is going to be so fun and so cute. And sure, we may be in December and wintry right now, but how fun is this going to be? Obviously, I'm going to have to get a Kona for the backing when it comes to quilting this, but in the meantime, I'm so excited to see this come together. I think it's going to be so fun and so cute. So I don't know how many times I can say cute, so let's go get cut. So we've got our block 1. This is actually binding, so I had enough to cut 2.5-inch strips, which was fantastic. This is my inner and outer border, and then these are my strip piece units. So I'm going to start by sewing one of these greens on each side of these purples, and I think it's going to come together really quick because here we are, no half square triangles. So now I've got both sets of blocks to do each row. So there's 15 of this one, 15 of this one. So 3 in each row, 5 rows. And usually you can just sew them and then the next row you'll just flip over. But because my flowers have stems that are growing upright, I have to keep them upright because it's going to hurt my brain if they're upside down. So I'm going to have to piece them as 2 different rows. So 1 row starting with this block, 1 row starting with this block, and then patterning back and forth. So it'll probably be like 3 rows with this block starting, 2 rows with this one. So then when they go together, all my flowers will be happily growing towards the sun and not wilting towards the ground. So I'm gonna go get to my machine and have a finished quilt top very soon.
So as you saw, I had stopped while I was sewing that row together because my row was short. What happened is there's apparently a chunk of these that when I was cutting them, I cut them an inch smaller. So they're the same height, but this one, as you can see, is an inch smaller than this one. So I get to go take everything apart and trim an inch off of my wider ones because remember, this one wasn't even a full yard, so that's why we did this pattern. Ugh. This is why you don't cut fabric late at night, guys. I'll see you when I have my rows together again.
Well, after much cutting chaos and putting back together and ripping apart and putting back together, the broad strokes quilt top is finally complete. It's a little narrower than the pattern says it was supposed to be. So because some of these got cut at an inch smaller, I had to cut every flower piece an inch smaller. So it's probably about 3 inches narrower than what the pattern says to be, but it's still a pretty good size. Still a good standard little lap size quilt. Probably have taken this quilt apart and put it back together more than any of the 3-yard quilts that I've done this year. And there aren't even half square triangles involved. So much for quick and easy when I cause chaos of my own. So I think this turned out really cute. I think the stripes and the polka dots are all so fun. And it just adds a little bit of accent to the flowers there. And so I think this is going to be good for anyone, any teen, tween, adult, kid. There's so many variety of options of who this will be good for. So I'm excited to show you it up close and then come back soon to quilt it.